There's no sound but the engines drone. Our minds set free to roam. We discover the entry to other planes. Our minds bend and our fingers fall entwined. We dream. I know time we discover the entry to other planes. Stay with as we cross the empty skies. Come sail with me. Slow down as the engines stall. Our eyes catch sail. Explode! Time discover the entry to other planes. Time as we collide with the energy in other ways. Stay as we cross the empty skies. Come sail with me. We play in dreams as we cross through space and time. Just stay with me.
And we are live. Good afternoon. This is the real George of the Jungle. Today we have a special guest here under the name of Mezzo, also known as Matt Rosado. This is an owner or a proprietor of the company, I believe what they consider Mezzo Creatures, or what his branding name is, Mezzo Creatures. This fella, as well as known and renowned for his filmmaking or in the process of becoming a producer of films, also a known sculptor. This man is full with packed in knowledge from a very young perspective, but what can say lots of roads have been traveled, and I'm dying to digest his brain and see exactly what we can get from his information. Um, Ourselves, we have not yet personally met on a one-to-one. This is somebody that I consider kind of like a day one when it came to like the reptile industry. This is one of the guys that always kept up on my stuff, and I kept up on his stuff, and we kind of shared the same passion, and somehow we are still, continuing after the years with the same passion, and we support each other as well by sharing our stuff or the minimal stuff, but it's the small things that count. And this guy is great. The hell was that noise? I think the tag was moving something back here in the enclosure. But before we do get started, I do want to say thank you so much, Matt, for coming on. I will join here shortly, and as well, this is the Spirit Animal Podcast, Matt Mezzo.
All right, how's it going? You got
My brother,
Hey, what's going on, man?
how you doing today, bro?
Doing pretty good yourself?
Pretty good, man. I'm actually looking here for my vape, but
Oh,
other than that, and yourself?
yeah, no, I just got all the dogs. The dogs are going crazy right now. Yeah. Oh man, but how are you, man?
Pretty good, man. Did you just get out of work?
I did. As you can see, I just got off work. I got as soon as I got off, I just head straight home. So, you know, gotta get going. Once the time coming up, gotta
Yeah,
make.
when I hit you up, you said something about putting some gas. I was like, oh shit, man, he's running late.
As soon as you told me like, oh, we're about to start, I'm like, oh, I ain't got no gas.
It's always at the moments of need, but it's good timing, brother. It's good to be natural. Give me 1 second. Let me actually pick this up here.
Yeah, of course.
Man, well, before we do get started, man, I do want to thank you as well for coming on and hopping on the podcast. And also, getting our names out and producing a little bit of content here within both parties. Brother, I do want to say your work or your ethic is very inspirational as well. You don't just have one specific niche. You have different variety of niches, whether it's with sculpting or production of movies. I'd like to get into that here in a couple moments here with you as well. But man, it's insane to see that development. I'm not sure, how old are you, brother?
Oh, I'm 25, man. About to be 26 like next week.
Man, I just turned 26, man, about what, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, on the 16th.
Oh no way. Okay, I'm about
Yeah.
to be 26 on the March the 3rd. So
Oh,
right
there
around.
you go. Yeah, man. Well,
Hmm.
that's a good thing, man. And I just turned 26 as well.
Nice, nice. Oh man.
Yeah, brother. So before we get any further, bro, do you have anything that you'd like to add in regards to our relationship or anything else that I missed?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man. Like it's pretty solid. I mean, I saw you through Instagram. I don't know who. I think you like popped up on my feed or somehow, and then I was just like, let me see what's up with this guy. And then you seem like pretty solid dude. You do like the photo shoots too sometimes, and we do like kind of similar things. So it was pretty cool. I wanted to get you to a follow, and then you find new interesting things, and you guys kind of or you just kind of find I don't know, similar. You kind of feed off of one another if that makes sense. But yeah, no.
Yeah, man, you were definitely an inspiration. You and the whole crew with Primal Creatures and Claudius from the Snake Father and the Snake Father and Friends stuff. Man, you guys were really one of the hits that got me going to think. Like, I was into photography from the get-go. And then to actually see the development, I'm like, oh shit, I could do that too. And it was always inspiring to see you guys tell the public, like, you guys could do this too. It's not just
Yeah,
because we do it.
exactly, man. Like, and that's just what it is. My job is to educate and spread the word about about these beautiful animals that we call our pets and family. Like it's just it's always started at a young age, and I've just been continuing doing animals for like forever. So it's just really cool, and it's funny because yeah, I heard Primal Creatures. That's my buddy Tony. Tony. Funny thing is, I'm the one who came up with Primal Creatures. Me and him do our photo, our what do you call it, birthday parties and stuff. So I came up with Primal Creatures, and then Mesozoic Creatures or Mezzo Creatures for mine. So I have like those two things that I've created. So it's pretty cool, trying to split
The
everything up.
the brains behind the brains. This is who
Yeah.
we're talking to here. Well, we'll get to know Mizo here, or Primal Creatures, or Tony here shortly as well. He'll be coming onto the podcast. Great guy as well, man. I get
Oh
great
yeah.
vibes from you people, man.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man.
Yeah, man. And to begin with the routine that you guys have, man, and to ask you that as well, if you do have a routine, it seems like it's almost everywhere where your schedule is open to wherever the business is at, you know. But I
Mhm.
do know that you have a job as well, so I'm pretty sure you have to meet certain criterias. What is your routine like, bro?
Honestly, it's kind of everywhere, but mainly I'm always in the morning. I get up super early, even if I have to like if I'm not working, then I always get up like 7, 8 in the morning, and I'm always like cleaning animals or it started my day getting up, eating or whatnot, and washing up. Or sometimes I'll start drawing some new ideas and just for some creature ideas for anything, or yeah, or I'm on the phone with people, talk to my reptile friends, and then that's usually how like my week goes. But for like definitely for like work days, like I'm busy at work throughout the day, but when I'm like off, it takes most of my time just to really, like focus on my end, anything else like art or sculpting and everything or filming. Currently working on a film right now, so usually when I have my free time, I kind of think of some new ideas to create new films, new ideas, new sculpture pieces that I'm making, or even new ideas for the like animals that I have, and like building new enclosures. So it's everywhere. So yeah.
Definitely, man. And do you see yourself like with having a type of routine project that you do on a daily basis, or something that you outline in your day where it's like, oh, I do this periodically, or I do this habitually, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, it's kind of like 50-50. It goes like random. I kind of go with the flow of the day if I feel like doing this specifically. But every day, I'm always dealing with my animals. Something's always got to be changed, like water or feeding and whatnot. But it's all been the same, or even something that needs to be like social, like some of my lizards that need to be tamed or whatnot. I kind of play with my animals for a little bit, and then just chill. So there's not too much. But yeah.
Do you find yourself doing certain ritualistic things in the morning or at night, like working out or eating certain foods?
Honestly, to I haven't really done much of that. I'm trying to start to eat better and work out more, but my motives of working out is not there. Like I don't like to work out, but this year mentally I'm trying to tell myself, all right, today we're gonna work out, and there's taking no for an answer. We're just gonna do it. You know, same thing with
Yeah,
I'm trying to eat better, but mainly it's definitely I want to like be more fit. So that's kind of been a little bit of a struggle, but we're gonna get there sooner. One way or another.
definitely, bro, definitely. As long
Hmm.
as you have that push or that initiative, man, that's what's recognizable, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. Hmm.
So, bro, do you have any spiritual beliefs or any spiritual background that you can think of?
Like like religion or anything or.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be religion. A lot of people think of techniques or some certain things as like a religious thing, you know, that I do on a daily. But if you do have a religion that you would like to share as well,
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't really practice a lot of, spiritual like beliefs, but mainly other than like, I am Christian. I do believe in and Jesus. But yeah, I mean, even with that too, like, I still haven't really, practiced as much, even though I do have those beliefs, but not to my knowledge where I really, think of spiritual things that I haven't. practice pretty necessarily. I mean, I used to with one of my friends. She actually just moved to Oregon. She's like, I want to say like the closest person that I've done like any sort of like spiritual like practices, like like meditation, breath work, uh,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I haven't really done anything like that in a while, but there's a she's still a really close friend of mine. But she had a baby, so she had to move. So I haven't really done it. But yeah, that I
Yeah.
think I've done anything differently towards spiritual.
Now, is it that you might not consider it spiritual, bro, but some things that you do on a daily, or some things that you find yourself where you find at peace? Do you have those moments with your animals, or do you have any type of experience of that nature? Maybe a
Oh,
connectivity.
oh yeah, I feel a lot of connectivity with my animals. Like they know me, I know them. They know who their owner is, or basically their caretaker. Like just like for instance, like my black dragon. My black dragon knows me, and the way I connect with him is
You
very.
have a fucking black dragon, bro.
Oh, dude, I
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I got two. I'll tell you now. I had a big black dragon at one point, man. This is probably like 12th black dragon.
Man.
But yeah, no, but
What were you saying, bro? Besides me saying fuck you.
yeah, yeah, it's okay. Can't be jealous. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, no, but literally, like me, like like my animals, like I really feel like this animal really knows, and it like knows me and knows that I love him, and it's just there's certain intelligence that you get off of these animals is incredible, and it's just something different from like like you say, like a dog, or like a cat, or like the closest thing I could compare like a monitor to is like a bird. Like
That's true.
birds are very personal animals to people. Lizards like monitors, and if you think like way back, like I'm a huge dinosaur nerd. Like if you think way back with the dinosaurs, their closest ancestors is birds, and some parts like kind of branch off to like monitor lizards and snakes and stuff, where they all kind of somehow connect, but they're not related, but somehow with a little bit where the intelligence level is there. Like they're very similar. So
Yeah.
it's different. So it's really cool.
Now, do you see like that connectivity feeding off to your vibe? Like if you learn certain things or certain attributes that the animals display, do you think that rubs off on you to a sense?
Sometimes, yeah, I think it does.
In
Um,
what way?
like I think like with him, say like if like if he's like probably like his moods or whatnot, like you're like upset, like I could feel whether he's upset or content or stressed, like, and then I'll feel for him. I'll be like, wow, like you're not. I could tell you're not happy at this situation, or I could tell that you're really like, content and calm, and I'm calm. You're just chilling, roaming around, free, just doing your own thing, and I just feel a certain connection with him, and I see why a lot of people want him.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
bro. I
so
have a normal, just a basic mainland,
yeah,
but the inquisitiveness of these animals, bro, like you see it in their eyes. Like
oh
you
yeah,
can see when they're in pain. You can see when anything is going on.
oh yeah.
Like when we would get in wild cots from underground,
Hmm.
um, a lot of them were hit or miss, where you would get, three that were sick and two that were good.
Yeah.
So we would take them to the vet, after that parasitic, treatment. Usually it was a hit or miss. When some of them would die, some of them would make it. So
Hmm.
it's like, it's hard to see them go, but you get to see that the attributes of them being in pain, or the attributes of them feeling happy, or some type of, not happy, but some type of motive of like food motivation, or some type of enrichment that they're feeling.
Hmm.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's relatable.
Hmm.
Bro, do you see like in your daily routine where things change prior to you having these monitors that you're speaking of, like the specific Asian water monitors? Like, do you see things evolving in your type of charisma or your type of navigating?
I feel like it has like my knowledge, expertise, experience of what I've had with them, and keeping so many animals in the past, and really getting to know like their species. and with monitors are very very personal. You know, people love their geckos, their ball pythons, their bearded dragons, and other stuff. Like and even iguanas too. Like I love like rock iguanas. Um, I want to say like rock iguanas and monitors. I can really tell like there's always something new that I learn from them and other ways how I can help myself as a keeper to like continue evolving what I would want for them in the future. And then that way they live a long and happy life. So
Definitely
yeah, I learned different ways and how to keep and whatnot and what to you
to
yeah
expect.
yeah to expect. Hmm.
Yeah, it's almost like a journey, with these animals. I can relate a lot with you, bro. Like it seems like they come at a certain time of need, whether if it's for help or for personal, but sometimes these animals are there to help you in some way. And
Yeah.
like finding relationship between an animal that you have no way how it's going to react because you're new to this as a new keeper,
Oh
and
yeah.
then it's just a whole 360 in your perspective of the way that things work in our spectrum.
Hmm. No, I agree. I remember there was this one animal that I had. It was like I think it was like my when I was first getting like I had two. Those were my two first. The one that I had, he was huge too. He was not friendly like at all. Like immediately I could tell like how this animal's like aura is, like how he's displayed and how very defensive he was. Like he wasn't like your typical your typical like really defensive monitor. Like he was even more than that. Like very intense. So he wasn't the most happiest animal, and I could tell the previous owner who had him current before me um, didn't really put a whole lot of time into him, and it just kind of makes me think like, man, like it probably got traumatized with that owner or whatever, and it's just because some animals that you get that you never know what you'll have, and what caused them to act this way is because of probably previous experiences they had. So
Yeah, and sometimes you'll get an animal that they out of nowhere they have a great temperament, and then 3 weeks down the line they're just overreactive or something's going on with them,
oh
and
yeah.
it's like, holy shit! Like it could change so quick.
Oh yeah, they do. I remember one time I had it was a jungle carpet python I had as a like high school, super chill. As soon as I got it, then probably within like 4 weeks later or like a month later, I fed it a rat. It missed the whole rat, and ever since then it was a total asshole. That thing was not friendly like at all. It was huge. It was a big ass like carpet python, bro. Like that thing was not. That was not a small snake. And like a probably like an 8 foot carpet, like striking at you with like super sharp teeth. Like, yeah, no, I didn't need that.
That's
Like
crazy, bro.
really crazy. Hmm.
Damn. Just by feeding or changing that feeding regimen, from live, yeah,
Hmm.
or to live,
Yeah. Hmm.
you can change temperaments just by giving her that new reaction, and it's not the animal's going to stay that way. Maybe it did it, or maybe it did. Have you talked to the people you sold it to, or?
Honestly, I did talk to them, and then there was no explanation that they had, or they just didn't know what to do with it, and they're just like, oh, like we, it was fine with us. I'm like, well, and I'm not sure what what happened. Like I've been feeding it just like this, and then out of nowhere, it just went complete psycho. So I don't know. It
And
was.
you still have the snake, or you no longer have it?
Oh no, I don't have this snake anymore. I think like in high school I was forced to give it away.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, I was forced to give it up, unfortunately. But,
Oh, I thought that was something that you had recently.
oh yeah, no, I'd say this was like years ago when I was in high school. But I do actually currently own a carpet python right now.
Really?
Yeah, so yeah, he's actually like right under me.
Well, take him out, man. We
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah. Let me take out these dogs real quick. I'll show you guys more girls. Just move all this stuff.
Thank you so much for everybody who is checking in. We do appreciate you checking into the podcast. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. As well, you can go ahead and drop a comment if you like. Look at that beautiful snake.
Look at that. So this is Ka. He is a pure. Get him in the camera. There you go. He is a pure jungle carpet python.
Damn.
So yeah, this is what a pure one looks like. I know they get like super black and yellow, and those are crazy. I want one of those too. So I'm trying to get into more carpets pretty soon. So I have him. I'm looking for a good sized female for him. Maybe one day I'll probably produce some little carpet python babies. So, but yeah, that's Car, and he's actually super chill.
That is a beauty, brother.
Yeah, thank you, man. Very, very tame. Yeah, man.
When you produce, put us on that waiting list.
Oh, for sure. I'm gonna put you guys on the waiting list for sure when I get some babies. So, fingers crossed. If I find a good size female.
Yeah, man.
Oh man. Yeah, man. Oh man. Okay.
But what was a point in your breeding / like keeping business that marked a change, or what was the switching point to like Mezzo being Mezzo creatures? Like what created everything?
I think what created thing was just at first my what I've always wanted to keep or have a flower shop, or my dream is to have like an exhibit, like a museum quality with animals, mainly reptiles. Um, and that's just been a huge passion of mine, because animals have always been a part of me, including like film art, both of those things. Um, Art has always been with me since day one, and then animals too. So everything's just been a part. But I guess what really started it was how many the people that I was meeting. Like I met Claudius, and everybody else, like a lot of all these other big breeders and whatnot, and meeting new friends like Tony, all kinds of people, man, and just it just made me want to grow as a person and really start creating this business for me, and the way how I thought about it was like what would I call myself? What is different from everybody else? And I came up with the name Mesozoic, which is the time era of the dinosaurs. And I'm like, no one ever thought of that name. And everyone knows me as a, creature guy, a dino guy. I know so much about like dinosaurs and stuff and all that kind of prehistoric, topics and whatnot. And then reptiles, like what's a perfect mix?
Yeah.
Who know me as a lizard guy. I mean, I love, but everyone knows me as the guy with lizards, specifically like monitors, and Mesozoic creatures stuck, and people were starting to call me Mezzo, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll just call myself Mezzo for short for Mesozoic. While Mesozoic is the full name as itself, Mezzo will be short. So
Yeah.
that's how I came up with the name.
And when did you think like I'm gonna establish a business now? Are you trademarked and everything, bro?
I'm still trying. Yeah, I'm a little trademark. I'm trying to find, like where I can get like business rights and stuff. But I started to establish myself within like I think it was like 3 years ago was when I was like, all right, this is what I want to. I want to start really focusing on a specific group of animals, lizards, and that's always been a thing, and everyone's been knowing me for it. So I just kept it that way. And then even on the side, I still do parties and music videos, photo shoots and stuff with Claudius or myself. If people want to need an animal for like a gig, I'll do that too. But yeah, that's when I really started. I think it was like maybe 2 years ago. 2 years ago is when I started it. Um, yeah, it's always been a thing ever since. So,
Damn.
mhm.
Do you have any experiences where it was like shit, like this is getting real by the second, or was it all just like step by step by step?
It was at first I was in disbelief. I was like, wow, I can't believe everything's happening so fast. But then I was like, all right, let me not like stay off of track because I was off track for a little bit, and then I start to like gradually move step by step, starting to cut down certain sizes of animals and what stuff that I don't really need, and then really focusing on like one main goal, and just focus on that straight goal, and that's just what I thought of, and just kept going, and ever since, and just kept pushing uh, through what I want to achieve, and it's always been like that.
Yeah, bro, that's inspirational as well because it's like we don't we don't focus on one thing just because we are, kind of what people call OCD or just because we have this type of view. It's because we know that there might be some type of success at the end of that specific, route. Because if you do certain things repetitively, then it becomes habitual, and then in essence, it just becomes natural to you by the longer the time passes. So
Mhm.
yeah, man, and like you saying that, it's like you have this path, and now you're centered in your Asian waters, or you're centered in your dragons, which is all the the Varanus monitors or specific species. Do you work with quincies as well? I think you got a quincy recently, right?
Yeah, very. I want to say I used to, but I'm actually about to get another one. So that's actually a little bit of a spoiler. I'm gonna get another um what else? I monitors before. Uh, what else? And then I'm trying to get more lace monitors.
Lace. You
So
do have a lace, right? You recently had gotten a lace, or
I
within the past year.
within the past year I did had a lace, but that one I don't currently own at the moment. But I'm getting another one. So getting instead of a normal, it's gonna be a bells. So it's crazier than that one. So I'm excited for that bells. So I'm just it's on a waiting game right now till I get it in. And then yeah, just trying to focus on getting more like advanced or higher end, animal, and really, focus on that. And I do kind of regret giving it up, but it's all in the process of growing and making sacrifices and getting what you really want, and just keep going with that.
And I'm at that point right now too, brother, where I actually downside my collection a lot, and I have had a lot here at home. Now I just have some at other places here around town. I had some here up in the north side as well, but it just gets down to a lot of routes, man, where you have to go here, you have to come here, you have to clean here. And I'm not breeding. I haven't successfully bred what I want to breed. It's like it's because of the addiction. And it comes down to an addiction, bro, where like we want a new animal because it's brand new to us, or we just learned about it and we did a shit ton of research, and now it's like picking at us on a daily, like get it, get it,
It is.
get it.
Always is, bro. Like literally, I like super like obsessed with this one. And I even told my friend, he was like, "What kind of snake is it?" I was just like, "I want to." They're called ribbon snake. He was like, "Ribbon snake." He's like, "Why you want a garter snake?" I was like, "Dude, look at these things. Like they look crazy. I didn't know they come in so many like insane colors. They come like all blue and reds, sometimes all black, yellows, and just crazy colors." And I was just like, "Wow, I'm obsessed." There's only like one guy like breeding only those snakes. So I don't
Yeah, you
know.
just gotta find your niche and what calls your eye. Like I think, like I myself, I got into like some of the high end snakes at the beginning, and I regret it because I was like just shooting for morphs. And later on, that I did my research and saw what I really wanted. Like I really love how a normal looks, bro. Like if localities and all that shit, like it's insane to get them in boa constrictors, Burmese pythons, but
Mhm.
it makes you think like, okay, like this is really just what I want to do, but I need to change my route, do it again, or
Ex- ex- mhm. Exactly, I agree. And in some things where it's just like it's the most simplest thing, but it makes the most like profit and interest in just something different, like something cool that you don't get to see a lot of people with. Like I like oddball like snakes, like I love my retics and my berms and stuff, but and some boas too. But I really like the really weird looking snakes that you don't see people with, like rhino snakes, like vine snakes, cat eyes. What else? There's this
have you
one
seen the Egyptian falsies, bro?
Oh, I love those, man. I want one so bad.
Those are insane.
It's so cool. It's like basically a little cobra. That's all it is. It's so cool, bro. Like
There's someone here in town. I believe she's out there in Phoenix. Rep the Jake something. I'm not sure. I don't think I follow, but I've seen her on Instagram, and she has that Egyptian cobra. Her setup is so like Sahara, like it's desert. It looks insane, bro. It's like damn. If I could replicate that with the leopard gecko and put that snake in there, man.
Oh yeah, that would be crazy, bro. If you do that, that'll be cool. I gotta see some results. But yeah, man, it's definitely really interested in like really cool looking snakes that are you don't see people with, and the Egyptian or the false cobra is like so. Ever
Those are
heard?
like the oddballs.
Yeah, they're like the oddballs to me. They're what do you call it? And there's
The
they're called,
Boagia,
I think the Barons. They're called Barons rat snakes. Those are cool too.
Barons
So
Racers. Yeah,
yeah,
those are insane.
I love those. Yeah, another one.
There's a guy in town that I just followed, Panda Faunas, I believe he's called.
Hmm.
He's posted a lot of them, but the coloration, the color, and everything that he posts, it's like insane. I'm not sure if it's just his eye of how he's looking at the snake, but you can see like different variations of colors and tones. Like
Yeah,
this guy knows how to capture his shit like to the T.
yeah. Hmm. No,
And they're like not so expensive, bro. Like go to the reptile shop and you'll see like they're what, $50, $150.
no, that's crazy, man. Like
Yeah, like
you've been finding Barons racers for $50 or something like that. No way, dude. There's a guy that was charging like five or like no, he was charging like $1,000, and I'm like, what? Like, no way. Like, yeah,
you're fucking insane.
so serious. I was like, I thought they were that much, and another guy was selling them for like $600 as a baby, and I'm like, what's going on?
Well, Morph Market has a variable change where people are trying to cut throw a lot, or people are trying to raise prices just because it's a special snake to them. It's understandable, but you
Yeah,
got to disclose that shit, man.
like, like you can't. I get it. You know, you try to make your profit, make your money, but at the same time, I like why I priced what it was and keep it what it originally was. So I don't know, you just respect the breeders.
Exactly. Like we can't say that from now to like for example, tree boas or emeralds or GTPs. Like some of them like cost $30, $40 back in the day, but like it's kind of the same thing. It's happening again with other species.
It is. And like what else? Like black dragons used to be 4,000 as a baby. Now they're 2,000 or 15. So it's pretty crazy. Like how drastically like the numbers have been going down, and just because everybody's breeding them. And the same thing with like many other like snakes and stuff like ball pythons. Their ball pythons are flooded. Crested geckos are flooded. Like everybody got like there's
Like
not.
there's the animals that shift, like what you're saying, like the high morphs or the high end animals, but you'll get that animal like the rhino or
Mhm.
the blue eyes Lewis, like they remain at $600 to $800 and they've never gone below 400.
Oh
So
yeah, no,
it's like those are the animals that keep that value at some sense because they're always wanted by people or there's always a flux of market. And in
mhm.
town here, bro, there's so many rhino iguana breeders, so many.
Whew, I did not know that. I did not know there were a lot of rhino breeders out there.
In AZ, there is, bro. There's a lot of rhino breeders, and a lot of the people that do breed them successfully are usually the people that don't have Instagram, that are underground. They're just silent about their shit because they have the patience.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense. I mean, I'm trying to breed mine pretty soon too. Like you've seen them, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're the really, really big ones. I'm looking at them right now, and they're looking at me. But
man.
yeah, man, pretty cool.
I need to get some more, brother. I was supposed to receive or get a couple from a recent friend or from a teacher,
Mm,
but I think I'm gonna buy my own. At
okay.
this point, I only have one. I have a female from JTK, and I have the tegus for now. But those would be the only projects with lizards that I have going. The Asian, I don't think I would ever want to breed her. She's wild caught, and I just love her. I don't want her to have any scarring, she's just too pretty.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. Like something like that, you just don't want to just mess up. Like
And
it's
it was from a loved one, like a person who's going through cancer and battling this shit. And it's like it's more than just the monetary value at that point. It's some type of attachment. Yeah.
Mhm. Exactly. No, it's just the whole respect thing. Just, just never. It's like one of those things where you just you got an animal, a special animal from somebody, and you just want to just keep it as that. It's a really nice pet. There's nothing wrong with that. So
And she's
yeah,
great with kids, or he's great with kids.
yeah,
It's insane. It's a
yeah.
good relationship that you build with an animal that you see every day.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we went off a little small tangent there, brother, but
Oh no.
I'm glad I'm getting some stories out of you, being a little bit silent just to let you know. As a child, bro, what was your dream or aspiration? Like, did you have any type of thing like where you're like, shit, I want to be the president or I want to be an astronaut or something?
Oh yeah. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a paleontologist. I really wanted to be a paleontologist. Kid. I wanted to dig up dinosaur bones and discover new dinosaurs and all this other stuff. That was just my dream as a kid. And then I think it used to be a veterinarian, but I was just like, no, I want to be a paleontologist. I love studying history about ancient animals. Of how cool it is to look at at a bone and be wow, this is like a 65 million-year-old skull of a T-Rex or something. Like it's just something I wanted to do as a kid, and then my dream kind of got shut down by my dad. He was just like, "There's no dinosaur bones anymore. They all digged them out." Dad, thanks for boosting my confidence.
It's always our parents, man. It's always our parents, and not only them, but other loved ones and friends that we surround ourselves with. But
Oh
man,
yeah.
it's crazy, brother. But that's crazy, man. Are you still thinking about going to school and finishing that up?
Honestly, my whole plan to go back to school is I want to do special effects and create monsters for movies and stuff. So that's one of my main things I want to go back to school for is in the arts. But is go back in the arts and focus on doing my creativity with creatures and special effects.
So
So
see, this is what's beautiful, bro. That you had a passion, right? That still defines something that you're currently doing. So in
mhm,
a sense, you're still within the same path because you admire the beauty of these animals, but you like to see it in a living form. In my
yeah,
perspective, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Like, okay, this because I still want to do it, but my mind is more creative to the fact that I acknowledge the natural presence in the moment
yeah,
rather than in the past.
exactly. Yeah. hmm and I figured with that, because even when I do my artwork and whatnot, everything is just surrounded, and they're all connected. Like a lot of the creatures and stuff make reptilian in nature, or a lot of the horror movies that I make and whatnot. It's all kind of the same, similar things of what I do, and a lot of inspiration from my animals. Just a lot of my art takes inspiration from animals. It's always been a thing. It's just been connected ever since. So, you know, and it's just art can go in many forms. There's no limitations. It could be whatever you want. So, it's really cool.
I like to define it as almost like the prism of black, where it has an infinite colors or infinite amounts of possibilities, but at
Yeah,
the end of the day, it still has its power or its endless possibilities.
yeah,
Yeah, that's sick, bro.
yeah,
Art, like you see the title of my fucking Instagram, visual arts, because I
yeah.
love to perceive, certain perspectives of people, and what we see and what we color onto paper sometimes gives you more information about a person than them speaking.
hmm
So when I see your art, like it's almost like a translation of your soul. Like it's almost like you're putting all your entire sweat, tears, and passion and time into this for
hmm
it to look in some certain way, the way that it's being drawn out in your mind. Like
Yeah,
that's like it is uncovering, it is putting yourself out there in a way that most people don't comprehend, and it's very inspiring to the people that are wanting to get to that development, to become a sculptor. And bro, how did that happen? Like, did you become a sculptor just out of the blue, like you DIY it, or did you go to school for it, or any practices that you have with certain people?
Honestly, like I started sculpting when I was in high school, do sculpt, and I did ceramic in high school, and we made like a lot of pottery and stuff. I was just like, okay, like I'm learning pottery, I'm learning like different clay and how to like how fast clay like dries, and it was just like, all right, like I want to try something else with like sculpting, and then I was always watching videos on how to make like for instance, this is called super sculpting, and it's always gonna continue to be molded and you can form it in any way and make stuff like sorry, get this out the way. Make stuff like this. Like
Holy shit! Look at that detail.
yeah, man, this is it's just a little dragon. I'm gonna make like more of them. Um yeah. So like little stuff like that. Like I really take a lot of inspiration from watching like movies, like how they make like the behind the scenes, like for instance like Jurassic Park. Like how did they make like the velociraptors or the T-Rex, they first draw it out and then they make it into a small like miniature sculpture like this, and then they just gradually move up to like a huge gigantic animatronic, or they put it a on a computer, make it CGI, um, which is really cool. I would like to one day create CGI. I'm not a computer guy, but that's something I would like to, master one day. But but yeah, no, definitely, I take a lot of my sculpture I'm heavily inspired by a lot of like filmmakers who create like their characters through behind the scene arts and the special effects. And then when I started creating the sculptor, like the super sculptor, which I went to community college like one semester, and when I learned how to use the clay, and I'm like, all right, I don't need to know anything else. I know what to do. I never came. So, but now I want to go back to school again for just specifically art. But that's how I've learned how to use like the sculpting.
So your creativity started when you were a child, right? You said you've always been a drawn of art and the way
Mhm.
that it, yeah. And what
Yeah,
do you think spikes it more? Like, what is your grounding space where you see yourself like, oh, I'm more inspired to do it at night. I'm more inspired to do it in this setting, or what is it that guides your creativity?
I feel like it used to be in the mornings, but usually when I'm in the mornings, like I'm always getting up, busy doing with the animals. But when I'm like, if it's like a really calm, like peaceful set, right now, like it's really chill. My table's like around me, it's kind of dark, so it's like perfect time to like make some pieces. And I would say like noontime when it's dark and whatnot, then that's where I can be at most creative mode. So
Do you do any psychedelics, bro?
psychedelics, I do not.
You do not.
Yeah, no,
So
but a lot of people want me to do it. This is not my thing, but yeah.
definitely, definitely, definitely. Do you smoke or practice any other like alcohol or anything?
No, I don't drink. I don't smoke. Smoke, I do it occasionally. Like if it's like my birthday, or if it's like a cool little fun event, and I'll take like a couple hits or whatnot. But then after that, I'll be cool. But yeah, just I don't do any of it. I just stay in one mode and just focus on my mind and what's in my head, and I continue just to draw out my ideas and then create it in real life. So
That's beautiful, brother, because we should be sober while we were creating these things, and some of us fall at fault where we have addictions.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it we all deal with our own, things our own way. But it's inspirational to see that you have some type of sense where you're sober constantly. Most people are not sober, whether it's overstimulation of any of the senses or overstimulation of addiction to meditation, whatever it can be. Some
mhm,
people have that sense of addiction, and some people believe that we all have that sense of addiction. Do you
yeah.
see yourself in any way overdoing something in your life?
Um, honestly, like, hmm, I do and I don't. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna stop doing animals and art, or it's gonna be a part of me. And
Oh
same
yeah,
thing.
absolutely. That's your
Yeah,
passion.
my passion. I love art. It's always been a thing. No one taught me how to draw. I learned by myself at 7 years old and continued to draw. Um, and then I would say like what I would say would be overdoing it is by with hmm, buying things I don't need. Buying things. If it don't make sense, don't do it. But
And that
don't.
comes not just to animals, but in other senses too.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yes, if it involves anything. If I don't need it, I don't. Don't get it.
Definitely, bro. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's something that we gradually get good at, within time.
of course. Yeah. No, I agree.
But what was your business or career, or what is your current career that you have prior to reptiles? So, meaning if you had something that you did before reptiles, or the whole gigs that you do with exhibitions, or whether if it's a special event, um, did you have anything prior or currently?
Honestly, no. It's just been the same. I mean, right now I currently just been working like at Petco. I just do like like customer service stuff. But yeah, no, it's the same. Just still doing like the photo shoots, the parties, the music videos. Um, yeah, it's all been the same. Just dealing with the animals, and it all just kind of just connects together. And then I found those connections through working at Petco. Funny or not. So that just became a whole like blessing as itself. So yeah, been with Petco for a while, probably like 4 years now. But eventually I would like to leave and really just focus on my animals. So that's my main goal. Is to,
Definitely.
yeah, not work anymore and just or like work for another company where I can work for myself. So that's
That sounds like it's a company you have to create, brother.
definitely, man. That's something I create. So yeah.
Let's see here, man. So, as a child, your aspiration was to become my man. As a
Oh,
child, what was your aspiration again?
the you said what was my last thing that I wanted?
No, your aspiration. What was your dream again as a child? I had asked you this question already.
My dream as a child back then was a paleontologist.
Paleontologist. So, see, we shifted from science
Yeah,
to creativity. That's like fucking crazy, man. And
yeah.
that's like it's like looking at two perspectives. And what was it that triggered that? What was the change like that you thought like?
I guess because like even as a kid, I was always an artist, but then I loved watching, like Animal Planet, National Geographic, and I would always love watching documentaries. Like yeah, of course, when you're a kid, you watch cartoons and stuff. But when like on my Saturday mornings, I was always watching what a crocodile does to a zebra at 7 years old when they're like hunting, and that always interests me. So it's like I love the science on like how these animals. Sorry, I thought someone was knocking at my door. As my dog's scratching like insanely. but but yeah, my the whole like science of it all is watching how these animals move and their intelligence level and their behaviors, and just finding like the new science of say like with dinosaurs, like when people discovered of what new species and what theories they had, and how their whole like uh, theories of perspective they had before what they I'm like messing up the whole thing right now, but basically what they thought what the animal was, and it completely changed throughout the generations, and time and stuff. Like 1 year, or like back in the day, it used to be standing up on 2 feet, sitting up like this, and then now it was like similar to like you see like in Jurassic Park, like mid-level, and then now they're like on all fours, and then now they're like aquatic. So it's just cool to see like different, uh, changes, when they talk about like different animals, like prehistoric animals, where they used to be, of
And that's
what.
what like the evolutionary process shows us. Like there's some type of chain that continued. Like they went back to this ecosystem because they were either pushed off by some crisis or something that happened to the planet, and
Mhm.
they went back to becoming amphibianized or some aquatic form species, and then they come back to land after years after. That's
Yeah,
like fucking crazy.
it's crazy, man. And the funny thing is, a lot of people think like, oh, maybe that's what they did, and in reality, they've always been aquatic. Like if what you call it, there's this one dinosaur called a Spinosaurus. You ever heard of that in Jurassic Park with big giant like sail fin on its back?
Hmm.
Huge one, looked like a crocodile. So people was thinking like, all right, it was the biggest carnivore of its time, but it was an aquatic animal. So the whole time we thought that it was a land predator, but it was also a land and mostly aquatic predator, like crocodiles. So
Yeah.
it's cool to see that, the evolution of of our science of showing you know what animals we thought were back then and what they are now. And it just, when it came to like science and stuff, and that's just always been a part and just interests me in like finding out like, oh, this, like with our planet, like, are we like the only people in our solar system? Are we, is there other civilizations that we haven't discovered? Just
Were we aquatic?
huh?
Were we aquatic?
Exactly, yeah. Were we mermaids? Man, but yeah, no, like, and then I guess, what kind of branched it off was like, you know, the science kind of formed to the reptiles. And the reptiles, with me, like, loving art, most of my art is reptiles. So, it kind of mixed like, like when I make like dragons and stuff, like what makes a dragon, if this was a living thing, like what would it do? Does it fly a certain way? Does it crawl? Does it, where did it live? What's its setting? Does it live in a desert? Does it live in a jungle, mountain? Like all this other stuff I kind of mix, with stuff like actual science.
And that's the beauty and creativity, bro. Like, because you are looking at nature, and this is what a lot of people think that becoming an artist is hard, where you mimic nature and you use the attributes of nature to create what you're trying to portray, because that's what your reality is. But if you have the eye, like yourself, like you make some strange ass creatures, like where does that come from? It's like because you have an expansive imagination, or is it because you've seen certain things or novels or films that just inspire you to create these things, or your experiences?
Oh
And
yeah.
that's what's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of it I get heavily inspired from like movies, video games, like books and stuff that I read, and then a lot of it I just, just it just comes from my head. I'll be like, oh, I wanted to give it like this amount of like spikes all over its body, or this crazy like teeth and claws and like colorful, colorful like pattern, like just all this crazy stuff that I mix in with like fiction and nonfiction, So it's really cool. I love adding realism to my artwork with monsters, and then having that mix of like fantasy to it. Like, yeah, it's fake, but if this was a real creature, this is how I would picture it as.
Yeah.
So I've always liked doing it.
And that's art, bro.
Yeah,
That's art.
yeah, yeah, man. I look at my rhino iguanas. I'm like, that's a dinosaur. That's exactly how they would look.
Yeah, man. The way they move their bodies, their motions, they're very like motion censored. Like if you have some type of sporadic movement, they're automatically gonna be attracted to it.
All
And
right.
it's almost like their brain just lets them know, like, okay, there's something moving.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it's because of like the ambush predatory type of thought, or like the process that they go through, but it might be it.
It might be, yeah. You never know. So, yeah.
Bro, so there is a question in regards to spirituality. You said you did practice Christianity, or you were Christian, or at some time you had some part of Christianity. Is there any superstitions or small customs that you still do to this day, like Small things. It doesn't have to be something that you practice on a daily, but some things that you believe, like don't look at the sky after 12 or something crazy, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, whenever something good, happens, or if I'm just like, if I get a little bit of motivation, I pray to myself. I pray, pray to God, and I'll, just kind of wish, kind of like pray about, I need some guidance, every day. Help me continue my path of what I need to continue on doing. And it's I mean, it's something I haven't really done as much, but something that I should do for myself is just continuing to be spiritual, certain things, even on the little things, if when I get like say like a really good deal on a reptile, would never see what happened. Like if I got a crazy deal for a cash deal, I'd be like, wow, thank God. Like this would never happen. But just little stuff, little stuff like that. I just I kind of look up, or I just sit in my car and I'll just kind of pray a little bit. So, yeah.
So we all have our rituals, and that is a ritual, you know, with you sitting down and talking to yourself and seeing the source. That might be something that feeds off to why it resonates with whatever that you're doing, and you have success, right?
Mhm.
Success doesn't come from a bad place, you know, or it doesn't come from hate or any type of low vibration. It comes from, you know, what you're putting out there and what you're giving, and kind of the same thing like with Christianity. I have no sense of it. I haven't practiced it. I have no say of what it is or what the religion stands for. You know,
Mhm.
you do you. That's your practice, bro. But in
Yeah.
my perspective, like I see the duality of what you're doing. Like it's almost like a respect that you're paying back to your own self. Like
Mhm.
because some people believe, you know, that God is within, or you are God, or you know, it's not saying that you're this almighty potent person, but we are all with one of the same.
Yeah.
Um,
We're
and
all.
that's
Mhm.
that resonates throughout all religions or through all practices and what should be taught, you know, instead of the hypocrisy that some believe or some don't, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, man. I believe that religion is a very touchy subject, and this is why I like asking these questions, because
Mhm.
it's like fuck the construct, you know. It's like I want to get down to the nitty gritty, like what is it that makes Mizo, you know.
Yeah. Mhm. Definitely.
Bro, so with humans and animals, we discuss connection. Have you had any spiritual connection? And what I mean by spiritual, and this word is overplayed, and I will probably overuse it throughout the podcast. But what I mean by spiritual is, do you have any type of connection where it's like almost telepathically, or something that has some type of incidence, what people call a coincidence, when others might call just true nature? It's meant to happen,
Yeah.
but have you ever seen that with a person or or an animal, where you're like, oh shit, like I felt that coming, or like it's a premonition to me, or you felt it, where it's like some type of connection?
Yeah. I mean, I felt it with the person and with a human and with an animal too. Um, like literally, I recently I've got into a relationship, been in a good strong relationship with my current girlfriend right now, and since October, and that's something that I'm really truly happy about, because it's like I feel like incredibly like connected to her, and it was like the minute that we started to talk, like I felt like we had that good little connection, and it something that we both have a similar like what do you call it? I can't think right.
You're
Yeah,
tapping in.
yeah, a similar passion. Like she likes reptiles too. I'm starting to get her into a lot of reptiles, and she loves them. She knows what monitors are now, and it's like it's so cool. She's like, "Oh yeah, where's like dragon? Where's this?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, this is like a dream." So, but yeah, no, I feel a connection to my girlfriend for sure. Um, and then even with some people, like really close friends of mine, who I have like businesses with, and we kind of click on the same level. We have like the same drive system, a little bit different, but we kind of have the same set of goals of what we want to do, and we are kind of like alike, with our calmness and whatnot. Like he's caught like I have a friend that's calming his way, and I'm calming my own different ways, and we just kind of just really click than most people. And then with my animals, the same way. Like my black dragon, I connect with him a lot. Um, I don't know if you remember, I used to have an Eastern Indigo named Anubis.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Anubis. Condolences, my brother.
yeah. Thank you. Man. I appreciate it. That animal, that snake, was the best reptile, honestly, ever. And I felt a huge connection. Like the intelligence of that snake was nothing I've ever seen. So he was a definite special, like, animal, and something that I will never replace itself. There's really going to be one Anubis. I can always get another one, and they're all incredible. They all have their own personalities, their own intelligence. They're just amazing snakes. I'm gonna get another one. Probably more, but but yeah, something I felt deep connection with that snake um, immediately. So
It's
never.
almost like it's a mark, right? Like they mark you, like you are now like almost like you're bitten by the dragon in a sense, you know.
What it was, and everyone who tried to handle, I mean, everyone could hold him and stuff, but like they were intimidated by him, and because he looks like a cobra, he looks like a venomous reptile. But I love that snake. I could pet, like play. You're like, wow, you could do that with him. Like, hey, we have a bond. Like I know my snake, I know my animal. I could do that with my black dragon too. You know, so many things. Just have your animals where you connect level spiritual,
Yeah,
whatnot.
man. You really get to know this animal on a different level when it's like it's you're doing this on a daily basis, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
It's insane, bro.
Hmm.
Now that spiritual connection, what do you call that? Do you call that a source? Do you call that God? Or is it just a connection that we have between human to human? What would you put a name to that?
I would say I would call it God. I would say like, God put this person or put this animal for me for a reason. To be in my life and my, kind of keep me going. And I feel like God is going to continue to bless me with the way, if I continue to be positive, continue just being myself. You know, if there's, I feel like you know, I'm always gonna find a way to like really like continue to move myself, you know, and be better for and just continuing doing the same thing, you know, just you know,
Consistent.
yeah, consistent. Never for anything consistent. I mean, I won't lie. I've been kind of branching off sometimes, but then
Well, you need that
back,
break, brother. We all need that breather. You
yeah,
know,
we
it's
do. We do. And I was for a breather for a while, ever since my Anubis passed away, and other stuff that I had given up, for certain animals like the lace, and it kind of did put me in a little mood where I'm like, don't want to be bothered, kind of just gonna relax and chill for a minute. And then even with the Instagram hasn't been the most best right now. Haven't been really getting a lot of what you call it, like
traction.
traction. So I'm putting it off a little bit, but I shouldn't. I should still stay consistent with it. Still doing, what I love. Still make, little, maybe change it up. Going back to what I used to do, making funny videos of what people really like.
Man,
And
some of your content was on point, bro. Like the funny shit, like you get to see that personality. It's like, oh
oh yeah,
shit, this is
definitely.
Mizo.
Everyone's like, exactly what Mezzo does. So it's like I feel like that's what I should, go back to doing. And, go back to do again, and really just kind of just be myself again, and not like, yeah, I like to post my animals, but why not I post my animals and do something funny and make it different from everybody else, because kind of just it up a bit. So I think that's when I'm gonna.
We all have to have our own social print or our own originality. And bro, did I fuck this up? Is it Mizo or Mezzo?
It's Mezzo.
I'm calling you Mizo here, bro. My
you know,
fuck.
oh, I was just like, that's fine.
It's fine. I'll just fucking roll over it.
Yeah,
No, bro,
roll
my
over
bad, bro.
Mezzo.
Mezzo. Yeah, bro. Bro, is there an animal that you say that you resemble or you have attributes to, like where you're like, oh shit, that's me, or I embody that animal?
Man, I want to say like, huh, no, like I love, funny or not, I love crocodiles. Crocodiles are my favorite animal because I don't know, like like with signs and stuff. I'm a water sign. I love the water, and crocodiles are aquatic, and it's something that I kind of connects with crocodiles because they're just so like cool, badass. They're like ancient. This thing like lived with the dinosaurs, so it's like
Yeah,
I feel like the same like connection with it where I love the water, they love the water. They're so like ancient and they know how to get around. They've been on this earth for so many like years, and evolution hasn't changed them. Only
they
like,
haven't.
yeah, they have not changed, not one bit. Only maybe like a fraction of a size, but that's, yeah. but but yeah, like I would say I'm connected to like crocodiles and stuff. Like, yeah, look, this Cuban croc.
That's who you resemble to me, bro. Like as soon as you said crocodile, Cuban crocodile, he has like the construct of a Cuban crocodile.
Yeah, bro. Cuban. The crazy thing is, Cuban crocs, they're endangered. You don't see them with people any like with in the wild. They're a highly protected species, um, and they're on the verge of extinction. So we're trying to save that species. What's
Bro, look at how crazy that looks. Like,
insane, bro? And the thing with
holy shit.
like, look at their teeth. They're not like your normal like straight pointed teeth. Like
No.
Cubans have like velociraptor teeth where they like serrated like blades coming out. Like, it's crazy. Like, they're gnarly, and they run too.
Yeah,
They
man, they're
act,
insane, bro.
yeah, crazy. They
The
gallop.
agility. And I was hearing some people say or discuss that some of them are very tame. Oh,
Hmm.
there's Mezzo. There's
Oh yeah,
Mezzo.
there it is. Yep, that's prehistoric croc right there. Yep.
Bro, so like some people say that they're very tame, but I think, in my perspective, I'm not sure. I can't say, but some people say that they are being teased or in some way moved, so they react in that way, or they're
Mhm.
more aggressive at that point. Well, yeah, it does happen, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that animal is aggressive too. So it's
Yeah,
like both things are accurate in a sense. The animal can be aggressive and the animal can be placid. It just
yep,
depends on what situation and what reaction you're trying to expect from the animal.
exactly. Yep. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, crocodiles and alligators and such. Alligators are more like the style type, and you have your crocodiles, which are like very sporadic and very explosive, reactive animals. But they can have their moments when they're like calm. It's just the time and setting and where they're at. Sometimes people be at the wrong place in the wrong time, and they end up getting killed. So,
But the
just
power to remain dormant for so long and
yeah,
then to come back, like you made it through all of these, prehistoric eras to this
yeah,
point, and you're still a creature that's evolving.
yeah.
That's fucking
Like,
insane.
it is. It is insane. They just the way crocodiles are is just the fact that they can hold their breath for so long, and sometimes when they go underwater, they're so quiet, and they're the perfect ambush predator. They're the perfect predator, Mike. You know, like this thing has a bite force stronger than any animal, like in the animal. It's insane.
Bro, I was looking at Discovery, and there was this documentary about uh, migration patterns within crocodiles, where they would go from Florida to the southerns, and they saw that these animals were somehow migrating to the northern part of the world. Like,
Hmm.
why the hell would they travel to colder parts of the world?
Yeah,
And that's what they were trying to figure out. Like, these animals have no type of pattern. Like, they just go off of their whatever they're feeling at that moment. They're going to go through it. If there's something in the way, they're going to tear that shit up.
yeah.
It's like you're not fucking with the crocodile. The resilience is just there.
And no, they're just it's a living tank. They've adapted to this planet millions and millions. You know,
Yeah.
so they're just a an incredible animal. So I love crocodiles. My girlfriend is not a huge fan of them. She thinks they look ugly, but I love crocodiles. So
You should get a crocodile now, man. No.
I do. I want one. I really want one. It's a good idea. No, but good idea for me, yes. But I don't need a
Yeah.
crocodile. Maybe
Yeah,
one bit of like,
if you don't have the space for these animals,
oh no,
by no means, bro.
yeah,
And it's more like it's dishonorable to your own craft, I think, because it's like you can't keep this animal. And I'm like at the point of rethinking my retakes right now because it's like, do I have the space right now, or I have the ability to move them,
Mhm.
But I'm like thinking like, should I sell them or should I put them in another spot or do something else? But I'm like thinking about it. Like one is 7.5 years old.
Mhm.
The other one's is about to be 2 years old, and she's gonna need an 8x8 enclosure soon. So it's like, and then soon I'll need a 12x12 room.
Yeah.
So it's, if I'm being the responsible keeper, that's the way the program should go. You
Mhm.
know, and if I can't keep that up, then I have to find other alternatives. Whether if they're not here home with me or they're somewhere else, but I'm not giving up my animals. But to that point, it's like shit. You got to rethink sometimes and be like, got to be the responsible keeper.
Exactly, and that's just how we all learn. Living, you learn. Like same thing with like had a like crocs. Like I'm not. I want a croc monitor, but I'm not ready to get an animal where I have to basically give it like my entire room as its cage. Like these lizards like live in the tree, you know, like made to live in the trees. They get like 12 feet long, and their tails are like insanely long and immense, and they're just made to climb, and they're made to have the space. Why do that
Definitely.
when you know when I can just wait and plan it better and get it later on, or even find a baby. But even with the baby, I want to make sure I prepare it, because that's like a long commitment, to what it's going to go to.
Yeah, man, it's about the time, and these animals make you evolve to a point where you're just like, it's on a roll sometimes where you're like, oh shit, how did this opportunity pull up? Like,
Yeah,
what is going on? And it's almost like the animal pushes you to that point where you have to. It's either you swim or float. At that point, it's just like you're gonna either drown or die. Or,
yeah,
something's gonna happen.
exactly.
And it's like it teaches you a lot of development where you're pushing to strive for more and more. Not just to keep the animal at a better
Mhm.
rate or a better way of keeping it, but because the evolution, you just see it already coming because it's so natural to you with these animals where it's like, oh shit, now we're getting this new enclosure, like you're
Yeah.
you're 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 growing with them. And it's almost like the movie, or I don't know if you've read the book Holes too. They have a
Oh,
movie and a novel, yeah. And it's like, when he takes her up the hill, and he at the end of the story, he's like, or she said the wizard or the seance, she said that if she wasn't taking up the mountain, they would be cursed for all in eternity. And it's almost as the same thing, like you're given that rite of passage, but if you don't fulfill it, you will be fucking cursed by death
uh-huh.
or by something else. It's
Exactly.
like you have to care up for both, and like it's like you're putting that you're on yourself. You have to make that promise, and if you break that promise, you're done for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Bro, what is your favorite animal?
Oh, he's crocodile.
So your resemblance, you think you resemble the crocodile, and as well, your favorite animal is the crocodile, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
In those attributes that we discussed of the crocodile, is it because of the way he looks? I know you said that some people in your life don't like the way that crocodiles look. Do you like the way they look, or is it because of their attributes?
I like the way they look, and then the same thing with their attributes. Like, I like their overall, like, how they look, and then just the way how their personality is, or just like they're just so like I said before, they're adaptable. They've they've haven't like they've evolved, but like in a different way where evolution really hasn't changed them. Like their whole instinct is the same. These are like perfect predators. They will take down anything with no question, and they will eat you with no problem. They're
It's like no remorse.
yeah, no remorse. Just it's if you're eaten by a crocodile, it's your fault.
Yeah,
It's like
because they don't fuck with you, bro. They don't.
they don't they don't. There's no reason for them to fuck with you to begin with. So if you just have to be at the wrong place, at the wrong. So,
Yeah, you were meant to be killed by a crocodile. If you're a dumbass and get killed by a crocodile. Not that anybody should jump in front of a fucking crocodile. This is YouTube, so yeah, you don't do that shit.
no, no. If you do, you have a problem.
If you recommend one piece of advice in your business area, or whether if it be breeding or keeping of animals, bro, what would that be?
Definitely stick to one thing. Stick to one project. It will be easier for yourself. And I can't say that for myself too because I'm with multiple species. I work with monitors, iguanas, snakes, tarantulas. I love tarantulas. I'm starting to be obsessed with crested geckos now because I had no idea how easy it was to breed them. But um, but yeah, if you love a specific animal, even if it's like like a gecko, if it's like a tortoise, stick with breeding tortoises. If you want to stay with tortoises, it will save you so much time and just less stress where you can just focus on one specific group of animals or even two if you wanted to. That's why with me I like to work with water monitors. Even though I'm doing like black dragons, I want to do the yellow-headed water monitors and the sulfurs, but everyone knows me for black dragons. So that's something what I want to get more into and just mainly focus on black dragons and eventually laces. But yeah, one animal at a time, the best.
That's for, and then you recommend that for any other field as well. If you're a photographer and you're doing one specific form of photography, you want to stay into that routine of developing that same film practice. Whether if it's you're using the same aperture quality, or if you're using the same degree of lighting, if you get better at it and you keep that technique rather than forgetting it, then that new technique that you add later on will add to that new product. So whether if it's lighting that you're focusing on or the aperture of the camera, it's like you're doing it because you want that practice to sustain. And that's what I can feel from reptiles as well. Like me myself, brother, like I don't have a particular species because I don't see it as if I want to breed. I see it as I like to keep these animals because I love the educational portion of it. I learn more when I sell animals that I like. For example, if we meet at the club and you were to come up and I put a snake over your shoulders, I just show you the animal. And if you reach out to me and you say like, "Oh, where did you get the snake?" Well, I can get you any type of animal, whatever you'd like, whether if it's a snake or a monkey. I'm not saying that they're legal in the state of Arizona, but I can help you, and I know the people to get you in connection if you are in another state. So that's my pitch to everybody else, bro, because it makes you think it's like, oh shit, this guy works with monkeys. No, I can get you in connection with them, but I don't work with
monkeys. Do I have a monkey? Absolutely not.
But that's the thing, bro. Like, I can get you with any type of exotic animal that you can think of in the reptile world because I've got into networking with these people and like raised that foundation throughout these past 4 years where it's like, okay, now I have a good foundation where I can call myself Walmart and these people are there for me at any time of the day. Whether if it's, in the morning, at night, like I shoot them a text like, hey, bro, you got a Lucy. Hey, bro, you got a monitor, whatever. And they have it. And it's like, it's a blessing, bro, to have these connections. Like, it's insane. And I appreciate yeah.
It is crazy, man, because then once you get those connections, it leads you to endless opportunities, and it's just, yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I'm the same way too. Like, I'm not in it to breed. I wasn't really, never really in it to breed either. It's just, yeah, if I breed, I breed. But, I mean, that's a goal of mine is to breed something, but I just love animals, man. And I just want to continue to having more exotic and rare animals to keep and to show and just, yeah, just in it for the animals.
Yeah, bro. And that's what it should be about at the end of the day. Anything else should be obscure.
Yeah, of course.
So, Bo, what is your favorite animal that you keep? And this is a question that's very hard for us because it's very threatening to all of our species.
It is, man. Yeah, because I love all my animals. I love my rhino iguanas because my rhinos are really personable to me. And except for, I mean, well, no, even this other one, I will scratch that because I have one rhino iguana. It's female, and she's not. Excuse me, she's not friendly, but I still love her because it's like I can't believe I have two huge rhino iguanas, and but one of them is named Kong, and he's really cool. I love Kong, but I want to say like my favorite animal is Metallica, my black dragon, and because everyone just saw me with black dragons, and a black dragon water monitor was like the main reptile that I've always wanted, and ever since I got into the hobby, and and yeah, they're just so personable to me, and I just love black dragons, and Metallica is my favorite one. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that brings us to the next question about your music genre, bro. What is your favorite music genre?
Oh, I love metal. I love
Man,
any kind of metal. Yep, any kind of rock, new metal, alternative rock, heavy. I like it all. Everybody looks at me and they'll be like, "Wow, you! I wouldn't think you would like this music." I'm like, "I love this music." you know, so it's cool. And it's a lot different from like my brothers because they like like rap and like hip hop and stuff, and it's just a little bit different for me being like black. So it's different. A lot of people be like, oh, like not a lot of black people really like listening to rock, but there's a lot of black people listen to rock, and such as
yeah, man.
myself. But,
My brother was actually part of this group called Dreaming Awake. So he was the back drummer for them.
mhm.
And Von Bell, like he's Afro as well, bro. And this guy's the lead singer for them. Like, come on, like
Yeah.
it's just that you haven't been out enough to know the culture of rock, like
Hmm.
Jimi Hendrix. Come on, brother. Like it's a great diversity in
Hmm.
music itself.
Yeah.
Um,
No, definitely.
I can see your perspective because I grew up in a culture where I listened to oldies, I listened to R&B, I listened to rock. Like it was just a variety of everything. And at this point in life, bro, I'm listening to everything I can possibly can because the more rhythms I feel in my day, the happier I feel. So like as soon as I wake up,
Hmm.
regardless if we're working or not, this first thing I do is like turn on the music. Why? Because
Exactly.
it just gets me in the mood of feeling a certain way. Like a song can make you feel energetic. It can make you feel some type of like a high. It's almost like addictive to have it on all the time. And when it's silent, it's like, oh shit, turn something on.
Yeah. It did, bro. It really did. Yeah, man.
Yeah, R&B for sure, brother, was like at heart, but rock as well, man. Rock was there. I would listen
It's
to
hmm it's
yeah.
always been there, man. Like ever since, even when I was a kid, I would always listening to like I would watch like videos with rock music in the background, and like I remember it like it was yesterday. Like I would watch like a dinosaur video, and it had like a rock song in the background. I was just like, this is why I like rock because I was watching a cool ass dinosaur video.
With Linkin Park in the back.
Yeah, with Linkin Park. I was like, what? It's so cool, bro. And I remember I used to watch like a lot of like lyric videos too, and I would just watch it and just like be really heavy into the music. So yeah, man, you know that's what I like.
Rock is very underestimated. I think the culture of rock and the culture of music itself degrades into different webs because as people like to mix up shit, man. A lot of these
Mhm.
artists do get into connection years after, and even after they perform, some of them become remixes and just hit off, and these cultures somehow end blending,
Exactly. Yeah, no, I
and it's
agree.
amazing, bro. It's beautiful the way it develops.
It is. It really is.
Bro, so we discuss who you resemble as an animal, and it's going to be a little bit more different for you because you have already given me both of them as the crocodile. You resemble the crocodile. Your favorite animal is the crocodile.
Hmm.
So if you were to say your camera's off, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry again. One, my
And we're back.
Sorry about that. Okay.
So if you
We're
were
back.
to say, if you were to say, bro, that one one animal like the crocodile, besides the crocodile, like let's say it was another animal, who would you call your spirit animal?
If I were to call my spirit animal, it would definitely be a wolf. I love
A wolf.
wolves too. hmm I
Why the
really like
wolf?
wolves. I don't know. Wolves are very like. Some people say like you can be like a pack animal, like a you like it, the wolves are like pack animals, but then they're also like very respected. You know, you know, beast. But wolves are just I don't know. What something about a wolf is just so like they're very like peaceful and they're very spiritual creatures. I don't know what it is, but it's just something about a wolf just kind of really makes you feel like wow, like that animal is like definitely like a beautiful like creature, and you just really kind of feel connected to it on how like they have a certain respect where they protect their pack, and they're also fierce too, so they're very fierce. They're respected animals, but people, they're feared and they're loved at the same time. So, I just feel like, with the wolf, they're just very like personable, and they're just so like, in a way, kind of ancient too, where it's like we've kept like dogs. Like I love dogs. It's just like we kept like, for so many like breeds like down the line where everything started from a wolf. So it's pretty cool to see that, and it's like I just like how wolves are. They're just so different. They're like kind of like um, I wouldn't say odd, but they're not. They're very different from their like your typical like predators and stuff. Like like I feel like I kind of am a little like different towards different towards things where everybody's like, oh yeah, I like to be like this animal, or I like these furry stuff, or I like this stuff. And with me, it's like, yeah, I like the wolf is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The wolf somehow, and I've told this to other people as well. The people with the essence of wolves have always presented to myself. I don't find myself as a particular creature. I find myself very naive and stupid. But
hmm
there's certain attributes that just always linger around me. And
Oh
I think
yeah.
the wolf was always one of them, the essence, of the wolf.
hmm
And it goes back to finding my spiritual square, or my cuadro, what they call it in Santeria. I practice what they call Santeria. It's a almost like a naturalistic practice between earth and deities that are of fire and water, and
hmm
it's almost like an offering that you're giving the deities to replenish yourself or to cleanse yourself in a certain way, what they
Yeah.
call ebo.
hmm
And while practicing that, the same thing, like the same essence came to play. Like the wolf is always around.
hmm
And something that I figured out when I was being read in the spiritual seance where they open circle, and that's as an espiritista or a spiritualist, they said that I had two particular people that were always on my hand, or my ancestors. It was a native person from my native culture who
hmm
had some type of garnish on his head or a full dress,
hmm
and another person who was in Middle Easterner,
hmm
who was lived in the Middle East or somewhere in Africa. So
hmm
those were the two representations of my cultures. And in the native culture, my grandmother or my grandparents would always talk about transformation between animals and cults. So there was some type of transformation going on between human essence and animals. Not that it should be practiced, but who would want to become a dog? In my brain, like it's
hmm
like if you had the power to transform, in true thought, like if you are at a state of evolution of being a human, why would you want to transform into a dog, right?
Yeah.
If you have the sense of spirituality, what the true meaning in yourself is, right? So
hmm
then it's like, why would I want to downgrade the ability that I have now to achieve some certain sadhana or success between
Yeah.
transformation?
Exactly.
But that always lingered in my mind. Like, is it possible or is it not? Like, do we have the ability of transformation? And the dog or the wolf or the food dog always popped up, the guardian of spirituality. And it
Mm-hmm.
was like there's always some type of coincidence between wolves. And it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy that you see yourself as a wolf too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Most definitely.
Synchronicities, man. Synchronicities. Well,
Mm-hmm.
brother, it was an amazing conversation, bro. But before I do let you go, I do have one question for you. Do you have any questions for me in regards to our conversation? Anything that you'd like to input? Anything else?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would say this is kind of like a little bit like I don't know if it's like off topic. I guess it could be off topic. Is there any like animal that you would like really like to work with one day, or is there an animal that you don't like that it kind of like makes you like gives you like respect towards it, but you wouldn't mess with it.
Probably the Komodo dragon.
Komodo dragon. Yeah.
Anything else is on the table.
Oh, I feel you. So do you do venomous stuff?
I would, probably when my girls are about 5 or 6 both. So right now I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. So as soon as they pass that age, I'd probably feel secure.
Yeah. I'm sure because I'm actually working with venomous stuff right now too. I'm being mentored. He's over by it. Calls himself Dan or Wildman Dan, and we're working with venomous, like reptiles, like a lot of rattlesnakes and stuff. And this is at a medical school where he does like venom extracting for medical research. So it's really cool to see like all the different snakes that he has. He has all kinds of stuff. So it's cool. So I would like to get into venomous.
Venomous.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Venomous is very interesting. It's like you work with spiders already. Is some of that venom necrotic or what is that?
It's like depending on the species of spiders. I mean, yeah, because technically I am already working with venomous creatures, so I have tarantulas. But the thing with tarantulas, some, they don't kill you, but some have a venom that's similar to like a bee sting or a wasp, and some have a venom that will like literally want you to throw up, and you'll be sick for like 2 weeks. So it like attacks your nervous system, or like where you go like it's like necrotic, where you go like almost like in a state of like paralysis where your arm can't move for a minute, and intense pain and swelling and just all this other crazy stuff you wouldn't think a tarantula could do. But
It makes you feel like you want to die then.
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, some of them they do make you feel like you want to die, and I want to get some of those, but I don't know yet. But is it bad? I mean, then again, I like bearded lizards and I like Gila monsters. I would love to keep those.
Man.
And it's another animal where it's like you feel like you would want to die if you got bit.
You learn to appreciate and I hate you for saying that. You learn to appreciate that some animals look beautiful in nature.
Hmm.
And that's one of them. Like I can't have a fucking bearded lizard because they're native to Arizona.
Yeah, man. I
But
found
how
out, yeah.
beautiful do they look in nature, bro? Where I can walk out my door and go hiking and see them there.
Hmm. Exactly, bro. Like, yeah, so cool. Like like in California, we can keep bearded lizards. We can't have a Gila monster. Like, it's so crazy. Like, if you're in Arizona, I think you can keep a Gila monster, but with the permit, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. But
Yeah.
yeah, see, that's what I want. I want a Gila monster.
Yeah,
But
man.
we can't
I
get
think you do need a certain type of permit with a either I'm not sure if it's nonprofit or an actual organization to keep the animal. So it
one.
has to do with some type of zoo affiliate, but I'm not sure. I might be quoting it wrong, but that's the last time I did research on it. You have to have some sort of facility that's either a nonprofit or an AZA organization that has some trade with another zoological facility.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But they do work with them here in town because of U of A.
Hmm.
The students do have access to these animals, which is sick because
Yeah.
these kids that are 30, 20s or 30s are studying these animals and learning about their venom glands and all this shit. So it's
Yeah.
like, bro, they're making a lot of medicine out of, some of these toxins.
Oh yeah, they are. I heard some of them are like trying to cure like diabetes. It's crazy. Hmm. It's
Bro,
insane.
if you study the amount of like things that go on in the microscopic realm, like if you think about it, like there's chemicals or plants that interact with our body to heal, right? like mint, peppermint, or oregano, or certain plants or herbs. So what is a ibuprofen or a specific type of medication? It's a concentrate taken from that plant, and it's either mimic or generically modified to make it trigger your system to react the same way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about it, like, do I really need the medicine, or should I just go back to making my own herb?
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like, do we need to have so much concentrate to be triggering our bodies in certain ways?
Mm-hmm.
But it goes back to the animal thing, bro. Like, there's so much things that we can learn from them because of the toxins that they produce, or sometimes not even the toxins, but their morpho from their nails, or the extractions that they have from their anal glands, or some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Use it as an eye drop medicine and you'll heal, or some shit. But it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy, bro, the things that they've developed. Like makeup. Like, I didn't know that they had so much testing with animals.
Yeah.
Like, they test these products on frogs, on fucking cats, on dogs. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And some of these businesses are rebranding to the point where they're using their pallets and doing certain things with like vegan products or certain like hemp. It's crazy what you can do. But until you think of it and you're like, oh, we're damaging the earth, then that's when you're like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we need to use a new byproduct.
Exactly, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Definitely, brother. So that was our last questions, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man, for asking me that as well. It does open a sense of what I really want. I think the animal that I wouldn't, or I hate, I dislike, is the ball python.
Really? It's so fun. I think because ball pythons are just. I used to really like ball pythons, but it's just there's too many people with them, and it's like I'm like every time it's like, oh, I got this cool ball python. I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's cool. Yeah.
Is it a spider?
Ball python.
Yeah. And it's not that it's the over usage or the excitement, bro. It's more like it's kind of, you shouldn't be breeding them at this point. Don't get me wrong. Some of these new morphs that are coming out, but like, if you're breeding normal to normal, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, like, come on now. Like, bro, you basically just stop.
You're just adding more to the problem, bro.
You're adding more to the problem. Everybody will not stop breeding, but it's because there are people out there who love ball pythons, and it's just something that's never gonna go away. Unfortunately, but yeah, sadly. But yeah, I get
we can change that. It just takes the motive to do it. Like you said, if we tap into these species that nobody's touching, and we work with them and bring them to the public and enlighten them, like kind of like the big guys did it with ball pythons, anything can be sold. If you can sell ice, you can sell anything, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly, bro. I believe it.
Bro, I'm going to end you there, brother. It looks like you have dinner there. It looks good. I need to take out these girls, too, to eat.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, my girl, she's been hitting me up. She's like, when are we going to Olive Garden? I'm like, soon. We're going to Olive Garden really soon. She's like, hungry. So, yeah, I'm like, all right, I'm hungry, too. But, yeah, we're gonna go.
All righty, my brother. I'll let you go, brother. It was a pleasure having you here. Man, this was another episode here with the Spirit Animal Podcast. I will be placing all of his details down in the description. Follow him on Instagram, Facebook, and all the other social media. Do you have TikTok as well, bro?
I do not have TikTok. Everybody's been saying make a TikTok. I might have to, so maybe we'll see.
I made it. I deleted it, and out of nowhere, my Instagram started working again. So it's like, oh shit, I'm not going to use it anymore. Like, so it's like, yeah, man. If follow him on all that stuff, follow him. Do you have a YouTube channel as well, bro?
I do have a YouTube channel, but it's not really active. So I'm gonna make a new one. But definitely follow me on Instagram, you guys. I got an Instagram. That's what I'm mostly active on. But my old YouTube channel, I used to make like a lot of funny, stupid parody videos from like back when I was like 17 years old. But
oh shit, we have to see those golden nuggets.
Oh man, we do not need to see those golden nuggets. They're meant to be buried.
Brother, it was a pleasure, man. Let's have you here on within the next year. See where the development's at. You have a wonderful night, man. Always much love to anybody who is checking in. as well. Thank you so much. You did join. You all have a wonderful night.
See you guys.
Stay here with me, brother. 1 second. All right.
Yeah.